I just wanna hear you say I like you.
Hello y'all, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Mixtures, and today I'll be talking about a girl who was basically fighting for her life to defend her friend who was basically cheating. Now, this story pans over to me, my boy Jose, Jossie, and Ann. So, this story pans way over to my job. I'm work at Wawa, I'm a gas attendant. My boy so happened to just surprise me at my job. And I was like, yo, Jose, what's good? Right? He was like, yo, what's good? I was like, bro, what are you doing here? And he was like, well, I'm here with this Jossie. Like, he's here with this girl. He said we just got back from like basically hanging out, going for a run. And I was like, oh, okay, word. And we're basically chopping and talking. And I was like, I'm probably gonna be here for a little bit because she's waiting on her friend to come pick her up, right? And I was like, all right, that's cool. So we're talking, we're chopping it up. He goes inside. The friend comes, her name is Ann. Ann comes and she's basically coming from, I forget exactly where they live, but she comes and she's coming to get gas, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, this girl look kind of good. She's like Italian and she's mixed with something else. I don't know exactly what, but she had curly hair. She was decently bad. I was like, she's definitely not ugly. So I'm doing her gas, yada, yada, yada. Of course, at the time, I'm not aware that this is Jossie's friend. I see her pull up right next to Jose's car, and her friend gets out the car and hops in her V. And coincidentally, my boy Jose was also getting out, like, right as, like, she pulled up. And basically, I talked to him. I'm like, yo, is that the girl right there? He was like, yeah, her friend Ann. I was like, yo, she's kind of bad. And he was like, you trying to get at that? I was like, not really. I don't really care to, like, not right now because I'm super busy. I got a lot going on, right? My boy ends up basically like telling her anyway that I said that she looked beautiful and that she looked good. And basically what happens is that when I'm in the middle of work, she's leaving and she basically like puts her like hands to her like ear and is like basically hit her up, like call her up and shit like that. Cause my boy sent me her Instagram. And what happened was that I hit her up, and long story short, cause I'm not gonna get into what we had going on, basically like it only lasted like 2 weeks because she was being real dry. She wasn't really texting back, and like I'm not one to chase, so I wasn't going to chase and anything like that. So I was like, fuck it, I ended it and I deaded it because I'm not going to keep trying to talk to her, right? But my boy is hitting it off with Jossie, right? They had a whole date to the movie theaters. I don't know exactly what they watched, but my boy said that they had a whole date, that they were having fun, and they hung out before then, right? And he's basically saying that they had a great time. So he thought, because as soon as he left the movie theater, or they were leaving the movie theater, the girl's boyfriend showed up, y'all. Like, my nigga didn't even know she had a boyfriend. Like, he had nothing but good intentions for this girl. And then she showed up, or he showed up, basically tracking her location on his phone and brought him to the fucking movie theater to basically surprise her, bro. Like, just basically to surprise her, to be like, cause I guess he wanted to know what was going on, right? So he basically starts fucking yelling, bro. He's like, this is your friend? Like, yo, bro, this nigga is fucking pissed, bro. He's mad as fuck. He's like, you're a fucking liar. Yo, he was mad as hell, bro. And you know, at the time, it's not funny, but my boy was upset as well because he was just like surprised, bro, because he thought this girl had nobody and he really liked her, right? So, and he had nothing but great intentions with her, right? So basically, this dude is like like he's yelling at her, she's yelling at him. She was like, we're basically not even fucking together, yada yada yada. He was like, not fucking together? We had 3 fucking abortions. He was like, what you mean we not in a fucking relationship, right? So they're basically just yelling. So then he turns to my boy Jose and basically like trying to talk to him, and my boy Jose is just like, look, I didn't even know she had a boyfriend, bro. I'm just as surprised as you are, because he genuinely didn't know. And the dude was like, this is not even on you, bro. This is like between me and her. Mind you, my boy's 6'3" and big as hell, so he could have floored dude, but luckily dude was really respectful, and he realized that it wasn't between him and my boy, it was between him and his girl. So like her and him were arguing probably for about like 10-20 minutes, and I guess my boy was talking about he was walking away so he didn't get to hear everything, but I guess she started putting physical hands on dude, and dude like caught her hands, and I think like the cops had to be called. something like that he was telling me. But the point is that this like pans over like 2 weeks later. I'm up in class, I got college class, and I'm sitting there waiting for my class to start because I have like a grace period before my next class starts. So I'm sitting there for like at least, I would say like 5 to 10 minutes, right? And I'm waiting. All of a sudden I get a text. It's from Ann. Mind you, I don't remember it's Ann because I haven't talked to this girl within like 2 weeks, right? Because let me tell y'all, I was unfollowing people on my Instagram that I didn't really like talk to or like do stuff with anymore, and I was like, there's no point of following them, right? And just happened to be one of those people because like, you know, I didn't really know her, and I was only really talking to her because my boy basically set us up, but it didn't work out. So she ends up texting me, and I'm like, who is this? She basically says, unfollowing is crazy. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, who's texting me right now? And then I look on my phone and I go back through the messages, and I'm like, oh, it's the girl that I was talking to like 2 weeks prior. And I was like, bro, like, what is your problem again? And then she was saying again, she was like, unfollowing is crazy. And I was like, look, bro, I was like, I don't know what you want from me, bro. You were being dry as hell. Popeye's biscuit, desert. You wasn't giving me no conversation, bro. So of course I was gonna stop fucking talking to you, right? So I'm like, what's the issue? And she was like, the issue is that you're unfollowing me. And I was like, hold on. I was like, aren't you friends with that girl that was a hoe anyway? And right there she paused. She was like, excuse me? I was like, your friend. She was hoeing. And right there she got absolutely triggered. She was like, first of all, don't call my fucking friend a hoe. I said, that's what she is though. I was like, her boyfriend showed up to the movie theater and my boy didn't know that she had a boyfriend. So she was cheating on her boyfriend and lying to my friend. I was like, she's a hoe. And she was like, you never heard of a fucking situationship? And she was like, of course you wouldn't know about a fucking situationship. And I was like, sweetie, honey, sweet cheeks, you're right. I wouldn't know anything about a fucking situationship because I do fucking relationships, right? I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass adult. Situationships are for fucking pussies. I don't do that, right? So I was like, your friend, first off, was in the wrong for lying, and she was wrong for like cheating on that dude, right? Because obviously he cared about her a lot. And I was like, what type of situationship do you have to where you're having 3 abortions? So obviously it's not a situationship as you're claiming it to be. Mind you, right? She's like dissing me in my personal life. She was like, how about you go pump my gas? Yada, yada, yada. This girl is like younger than me, and we're like damn near the same age. So I know she did, well, she could. Let me not fucking like, you know, hate or anything, because I ain't no hater. But I doubt she has like a better job than what I did. Not that I really cared, because I was really just keeping it, telling her how it is. I was like, you targeting my job doesn't make your friend any less of a hoe. Like, you're aware of that, right? So she got like mad as hell about that, and she kept coming at me. And I was like, look, you can keep coming at me, but I was like, your friend is still a hoe. And she was like, you're a fucking bitch, yada, yada, yada. Like, she's calling me every curse word and name you guys could possibly think of in the book. And I'm just trolling her, like making fun of her friend, right? Mind you, she's so bland with the fucking like insults. I'm like, bro, just say the word nigga, bro, right? And she keeps going and she's avoiding saying the word. And I'm like, hold on, are you white? Is that why you don't want to say the word nigga, right? Because I knew she was like lighter skin, but I thought she was mixed with like some type of black. And she's like, look, you're a fucking idiot, yada, 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 right? So I'm like, all seriousness, no trolling. I was like, all love to you. I said, I think your loyalties lie in the wrong place, because at the end of the day, you should hold your friend to some type of standard, and you should hold your friend to some type of accountability. I was like, your friend lied and she cheated on her boyfriend, right? So you should hold her to the standard as a friend and tell her what she did wrong, right? Instead, you're here trying to basically defend her wrongdoings and make it seem like what she did is okay. That lets me know enough about your own character, the fact that you don't want to hold her to that accountability, right? And she basically just started calling me a bitch and whatever else you could possibly think of. And I was like, that's cool. And I basically just said, look, whatever, I love you, bro. Take care. Like, I said love you as in like, you know, I fucks with you, love you, like all love, no hate. Take care. She basically responds and she says, you're a bitch. And I was like, cool. We ended the conversation there. Moral of the story, y'all, hold your friends to an accountability when they do something wrong. You're a real nigga when you hold your friends to an accountability. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, that's their life, yada, yada, yada. Because if my boy had done that, if he had did that girl the way she did him, I would have told him, I'd be like, yo, that was fucking wrong. You shouldn't have done that. I'm never not gonna tell my friends when they not wrong, right? Because I'm never gonna defend the wrongdoings that you do, especially if it affects and hurts someone else. Now, my boy played it off like he didn't really care, right? But deep down, he definitely cared a little bit because he did care for that girl. So for the way she did him, you should always hold someone to the accountability instead of trying to defend them, right? You're a real nigga when you do that. You're not a real nigga when you just play it off and be like, it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the moral of the story, y'all. I love y'all. Take care, be safe, and make sure to always hold your friends to an accountability. Take care, y'all.